Welcome. This is the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, and we are so glad that you've made it to a calmer corner of your day. Here, we focus on real solutions, practical help, and the kind of encouragement we could all use a little more of. So let's get to it.
Have you ever tried to grab something that's just out of reach and suddenly felt yourself tipping forward? It happens so fast. One small stretch can turn into a major fall, especially for older adults. Today we're going to talk about simple changes in habits, home setup, and tools that can prevent those dangerous overreaching moments that put so many seniors at risk. You'll walk away from this episode knowing exactly why this happens and what you can do to make everyday tasks feel safer and easier. And just so you know where this guidance comes from, we at Senior Safety Advice have the training and experience to help you make smart, safe choices for aging in place. Alrighty, let's get going. So first I want to talk about overreaching. It's one of those things nobody really thinks about. We just go through our day reaching into closets and cabinets and shelves and even across a table. But for older adults, that little leaning or stretching can completely shift balance in a split second. Here's what I mean. When we reach past our natural base of support, our center of gravity moves forward or sideways. Younger bodies can usually correct that fairly quickly, but as we age, our reaction time slows, our balance system changes, and our muscles may not respond the way they used to. So what happens? A fall, and often it's a bad one. Here's the 3 biggest reasons that overreaching happens. First, items are stored either too high or too low. If someone has to get on their tiptoes to get something off of a shelf, that's a problem. If they have to bend way down to get something off the floor level almost, that's another problem. Both of those positions put the body in a risky angle, especially if your hands are full or the person isn't holding on to something sturdy. The second reason is mobility and balance change. If someone has arthritis, neuropathy, dizziness, poor vision, they're already working harder to stay steady. And a sudden reach, and it's like asking your body to multitask under pressure. The third reason is habits that were formed years ago, and this is a sneaky one. People say, well, I've been doing it this way all my life. Right, but your body today isn't the body you had 20 years ago, and those old habits don't always match up with what your balance can handle now. So what can we do about it? Well, let's walk through some simple fixes. Number 1 being, bring things to the safest zone. So this is the shoulder to hip zone. Anything that you're using often, like dishes, towels, clothing, toiletries, should live somewhere between shoulder height and hip height. This gives the body its strongest, most stable range for reaching. There's no getting up on your tiptoes or bending down and twisting. If you do one thing today, make it this. This has an immediate impact. Number 2 is to use smart tools. I love a good reacher, but here's the key. A reacher is only safe when you're picking up something that's light and easy to grip. If someone is using a reacher to pull a heavy can off of the top shelf, that is definitely not safe. A small, lightweight grabber works great for things like socks and papers and the TV remote, lightweight items. For kitchen tasks, consider getting sliding shelves, using turntables, or pull-down organizers. These reduce the need to reach deeply into a cabinet. Next is reduce twisting while reaching. Twisting is one of the quiet villains of falls. If you reach to the side while your feet stay planted forward, your balance shifts unevenly. Instead, turn your whole body, your hips, feet, and shoulders, as one unit towards the item you're trying to reach. Sounds simple, but it's a habit worth practicing. Number 4 is to watch the chair and bed reach habits. This one surprises people. Overreaching often happens when someone is seated, and I'll bet you would have never thought that. But an example is something like reaching across a table for picking up a drink, or leaning too far over the side of the bed to get something off the nightstand. A good rule is this. If you cannot reach it without leaning or shifting in your seat, it's too far away. Adjust the placement of the object, not your body. Next is to improve lighting and contrast. If someone can't clearly see the object they're trying to reach, they'll stretch further than they realize. Simple changes like under cabinet lighting, brighter bulbs, and using baskets or bins with bold colors can make a huge difference. And number 6 is to slow down. I know we all feel like we're in a hurry all the time, but rushing is one of the biggest triggers for unsafe reaching. So think about little pauses. A pause to check your balance, a pause to bring your feet closer to the object, a pause to decide if a tool is actually needed. These micro moments will help to prevent injury. Let me give you a real-life example. Years ago, Esther worked with a gentleman who kept losing his balance reaching into the top cabinet to get his coffee mugs. Every morning he'd stretch and wobble and hope for the best. So she moved his mugs to a shelf that was at chest height. That one change, just 10 seconds of rearranging, stopped the balance scares instantly. He laughed and said, "Well, why didn't somebody tell me this sooner?" But this is exactly why we're talking about overreaching. It's small and simple, but it's also one of the easiest fall risks to fix. Before I wrap up today, here's a few takeaways. Keep daily essentials between shoulder and hip height. Use reachers only for light items. Avoid twisting. Move your whole body instead. Check lighting and visibility around cabinets and closets, and always take a second to steady yourself before reaching. These small steps can prevent one of the most common, most overlooked causes of falls in older adults, and honestly, the peace of mind is worth it. So thanks for joining me today. Please share this episode with someone you care about who could use the information to make their own life safer. You'll find more resources for seniors and caregivers on our website at seniorsafetyadvice.com. And if you're searching for an aging in place specialist, please visit our sister website at aginginplacedirectory.com. Then come back tomorrow for another daily moment of guidance and encouragement right here on the Senior Safety Advice Podcast. Oh yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or this podcast yet, please go ahead and do that right now. Until next time, take care. Bye.
This podcast is part of our mission to help older adults live safely and independently. If you'd like to take the next step, visit aginginplacedirectory.com, where you'll find specialists, helpful resources, and inspiration to make every home your place to thrive.